like we said last week, your portfolio is a representative for you. It's an ambassador because you aren't going to be there when they look at your portfolio. So your portfolio needs to really stand out. Each project should stand out. Each project in that way probably should start off with a bang. Like how we talked about page order or the project order. You want to start off with something that's really impressive so that it captures your audience attention. Each project should begin with a bang as well so that it captures the attention of your audience. Okay, so while you collect images and stuff for your project, photographs, drawings, renderings and such, of course clean all those up in Photoshop so that make it look so that you make it look nice and all that. Select an image that really captures the audience. Like looking at this as an example, I have drawings and such. I probably wouldn't show drawings at the very beginning. I might show a image such as this that's very dramatic, that really captures the mood of the building or something. Okay, so what I'm going to do is to select this project to place onto the portfolio first. Okay, so layers, I'm going to say money shot. No, I shouldn't say that. Okay, image 1, and that's my first layer. And for that, I'm going to place that image. I think I put it on the desktop. You guys shouldn't put your stuff on the desktop. And I think that's the one. Place it, and it is there. Okay. Now, where to put this thing? I could just take this thing and go ahead and put it somewhere where you think it's gonna look the best on this side. Of course, this picture is a little bit big for your sheet, right? So this is what I talked about when I said maybe if your image crosses over onto the other side of the sheet, you select somewhere that's not as a significant image for that image. Like you don't want to put, since this is spine, you don't want to put your main subject right on that spine. What you want to do is to take this thing so that maybe it's in this gravel portion or something that it doesn't really matter that there might be a shift in the image or such. Okay, so the idea is where to locate this thing. Of course, since this project or this picture is a little bit big, again, if you plan things out ahead, you could have taken it into Photoshop and then get it to the proper size and such. Since this is so close and I don't exactly know where it's going to fit, I'm just going to use this as such. Okay, and I could go ahead and change this so that at least it'll fit onto the vertical section, because these stairs look kind of important too as part of the drawing image. Okay, so I take this thing and shrink it. Hit the shift key so that the proportion stays consistent, and put this thing right where we'll fill the page, at least vertically. Okay. Okay, so we place this stuff in here, but we don't exactly know where about it should go. Okay, for that you might want to start using your guidelines at least to kind of plan out what or where these things would look fairly good. Since this is an 11 by 8.5 sheet, I could put a guideline at 5.5, which is half of your 11 and 11, no, 5 and a quarter. That should be 5 and a quarter. Yeah, that would be, no, 11, sorry, 11, so it is 5.5. Okay, so that would be bisecting the page. Don't worry about this part that that crosses over. Or you might want to start doing rules of 3. Maybe turn it into columns of 3. For that, if you divide 11 by 3, it's about 3.5, 3.6, something like that. So we could say like it is 1, 2, 3 and a half. And I think it's more closer to 6, or 3.6, but we'll just use that because I don't want to do the math. So that's a half right there. 1, 2, 3, and that should get us close to a third point. Of course, that's going to be off a little bit because of the gutter right there. Don't worry about that right now. If you are concerned about it, you can move this over to exactly third points, and it should be fine as well. Also, at this point, you probably want to start to think of this thing with a margin. So since we're working on the guides, you might want to put like a 1/2 inch margin or border on all of your sheets. So 8.5 would be 8 right there, and maybe on this side from 11 we go back 1/2 inch, and so you have a border along the sides. Okay, so don't exactly know where to put this drawing just yet, but since we set up all these guidelines, then you have something that you could start to use as reference points. Maybe I could put this thing closer to, so that the column is more or less at the third point, and then the roof will wind up more at the border, and I have more of the windows, the main facade right here, showing right smack dab in the middle of your page. Okay, so I guess you get to decide how you're going to do all this, but just use the rules of 3 or 1/2 or bisecting to guide yourself to organize your picture into something that looks cohesive and with the rest of your project. Okay.